Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. Last video I did was the Tifa poor skip video. I already said Happy New Year's there, but just in case you're not looking at that one because you don't care about Tifa and you care about Aerith more, Happy New Year's to you guys. I am back trying to do some videos. The whole thing happened last year. Yeah, we're gonna go past that and just say, hey, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great time from 2024, and I hope 2025 is much better for you. This video is gonna be talking all about Aerith and the current banner she's on with Tifa. By the way, didn't really say much about this in the other video, but Tifa and Aerith are very, very good together. All of Tifa's weapons and her setup are very strong, but Aerith has a lot of weapons that complement this as well, really helping the DPS of Tifa, especially if you pulled for Aerith's wand that does all the resist down, fire resist down, wind, everything. It does all elements. So the fact that they're both on the same banner is really, really strong. But we're here to talk about Aerith. So, Aerith, what is her setup? Her costume looks so cute as well. I like that the dress she's wearing looks like the dress that she wore during the wall market scene, where she had to choose a dress, and this one, not the whole entire setup, but this red part right here, reminds me of a lot. So, the actual costume, just for video reference and for you guys, I think Aerith always looks amazing. Some of them questionable, like the Chocobo one, but it's all for humor and fun. I really like the Chocobo one, but she has some beautiful ones as well too. So let's talk about that costume and what it does. Just like Vincent and Tifa on the current banner, Reprieve is on your healer. Plus, Aerith can always be a DPS as well. She has some previous costumes and they're still future-proofing her as a DPS, so this works no matter what. And then, like I talked about in the last video, Reprieve on an entire team means you guys can choose a lot of mechanics where it was about to one-shot you, but you didn't have to try to beat it. Like Bahamut going, ha, Mega Flare. It's like, oh, guess what, Bahamut? That didn't matter, right? Or Kefka in the start, he did like this max damage and you couldn't stop it. Guess what? We're okay. And you kind of cheese and make really good strategies out of a full Reprieve party. Is it necessary? No. Will the content lean towards it? I don't think so, because it is a limited banner, and creating content on a limited weapon or costume that you don't have is very bad for the actual game itself, especially if they don't want the game to end anytime soon. Making things limited and then mandatory is a bad mix. So don't feel bad if you don't have Reprieve. I've only used Vince's Reprieve very occasionally, not necessary. Now, her actual next ability here is called New Year's Protection. HP plus 10% and healing potency plus 20%. When we compare this to her other costume, I'm gonna go in here real quick. Probably should have had this set up, but I like to give you guys visuals of everything. So we're gonna grab Aerith here, or I was showcasing some costumes the other day on stream. Second dropped by, he just wanted to check out what I had for waifus, and I showed him. But here we go with Bahamut's Protection, healing plus 10%. And we all know this 10% actually made a pretty big difference in Aerith's healing. Now, when you compare the two costumes though, which one you would use, it's all situational. A boost to your entire team of boost attack allies for plus 5 is 5% up in damage, which is really good. And then on top of that, having physical and magic defense plus 20% is very strong versus just 10% healing and 10% HP and 20% healing. I would say, is it going to replace the Bahamut gear? No, but there will be situations where you actually need that extra healing and HP and the second chance. So it's always good as a back pocket costume, but I wouldn't say it's the thing that you need the most. But we all know when they make something, they make content to kind of prove you wrong and say, well, guess what? You should have got it, right? And then they just don't care about it anymore because they're like, you know what? Banner's important. Look, this enemy does this. We won't make another enemy like that. But I do think it's a very powerful costume nonetheless, just not necessary in every situation. I'm very excited to see a plus 20% healing increase though for a healer, because we've been complaining for a long time. It's better to stack defense than it is stack HP, because a healer can't heal for over 10,000 HP. That might start changing. Now, when it comes to the weapon itself, the Crimson Staff, just at one copy, we're going to be doing damage, critical, all enemies, 10% chance. But this thing is going to be a magic attack all to the entire party. With only one copy, you are increasing the entire party's magic attack to mid-tier, and magic defense is decreased on the enemy mid tier as well. This stays exactly the same all across at 70% HP until you hit OB6, where everything becomes high. And then OB10 is not necessary. The only thing that's necessary is for the R abilities and the stats. So this thing at 1 copy is really strong already. Mid, I know it's not max, but the point is that Aerith has everything pretty much in her arsenal. She can do any kind of support, healing. She's got resist downs now as well as a healer. Aerith is just a beast, but it's all limited banners. Just like Tifa, it's on the same banner. This is limited. You can only grab it here, and then you can't wishlist it. You can't do your daily weapon parts. You can't use your weapon vouchers, right? Your gear vouchers on that. So if you're getting this, you're getting 1 copy, and you're saving every single weapon part you have for Aerith until you get this to OB6, because that's where it shines the most. Is it necessary? I would say having magic attack increased to mid and magic defense down mid is really strong already. It's perfect at OB6. And then on top of it has magic boost all allies and buff duration at fully maxed out. That is a 4639. It also has heal boost for single curas and an all cure. So it's also a healing weapon as well. Sometimes we don't need a lot of healing, and having a weapon that does all the buffing and then giving you that all AoE cure is really, really strong. So I think overall this thing is very, 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 very worth it, especially Crimson Staff. Tifa, her weapon and her costume allow so much DPS, but DPS are always being made, where supports is very rare, especially because we have more than 1 healer, we have more than 1 support character. So if you focused on Matt and you skipped all of Aerith stuff, then you kind of don't have Aerith's kit to work with, right? And you're working with Matt. But not every character can be a support or healer. So when a support or healer comes with something that's really strong, like an AoE magic attack up and magic defense down on the enemy, it's usually those key things to grab, because they're always creating DPS. Every time you see a banner wave come in for whatever's happening, there's tons of DPS, and DPS are constantly getting stronger. But magic attack high tier for an entire party is something that's going to last a very long time, and that's why I'm really torn on this banner, because Vincent's also around the corner. His setup just makes one of his DPS setups stronger. We'll talk about that later. So I'm a huge Vincent fan. I want every costume in the game, even if it's terrible. But with how strong Aerith's weapon is, I am very leaning towards skipping a Vincent banner, and that kills me to say out loud. This thing is very strong. Having a magic attack all on Aerith's kit, if you already have her Monster Hunter, her Kimura Rond, all that, if you have everything that she has, this is just a great addition on top of it. She's got incredible things that you can wishlist to go along with this, but if you missed all her limited stuff, this is what you're left with. So if you do bring her in, and you want to make her strong and you have no limited stuff, her best weapons are Citrus Rod, Flora Wand, and of course her Snowflake. Just because it does do utility, right? Magic defense down. You've got Flora Wand, which does wind resist down, but also physical defense gets lowered. Her best one being here is a Citric Wand. If you are using this with Tifa's ice setup or anyone's ice setup, it gives ice damage up high to an ally and also increases magic attack mid to high. So a lot of supporting there. But like I said, if you're missing her limited stuff, you're using some other version of healing, the all cures. The other things here, maybe Mithril Rod, because it does increase physical and magic defense mid to all allies at OB6. If you are using her for DPS, because again, this weapon that she currently is on this banner, it can be used on a DPS setup because it does buff herself and the entire party and lower defense. Because it does 2 things, plus boost magic attack all allies, it's not a bad option for any of her DPS setups. So you could go ahead and grab her Wind one, Prism Rod, which is 800% magic wind. You can use it for her fire weapon over here. Technically, she's also ice DPS, right? Not the best one, 540%. Back then, you can get away with it. Nowadays, maybe, right? And anything else she does come out with. So, if you are pulling this banner for either Tifa or Aerith or both, it is very, very, very powerful banner, especially for a brand new player or someone who's wanting to reroll because they don't like their account. Now would be the time to reroll. And like I talked about in the last video, this ultimate weapon is actually insane, just because it does have haste for 3 uses plus 2,000 damage, and it's got the attack boost, which again for dungeon ranking, battle rankings, this will make a difference. When every battle you enter, you don't have to waste ATB buffing your DPS. So during battle ranking or dungeon rankings, the one you can move around the map, less ATB you use, the better. A character that comes in with a full attack up already sounds really, really good to me. So, ultimate weapon, Aerith, costume, and her new weapon, which I think is a staple to have 1 copy again, because mid, a magic attack up for all allies, and mid magic defense down, 70% or more HP. Aerith is an incredible healer. She'll be there, right? We know that with the Bahamut Rod, I'm constantly casting that thing off. I think it's a great choice. If you're working on another one, you already know what your answer is. If you're using Matt or someone else as a healer, then you're probably on that. But for me personally, this is where I want to be. And this is when 90% or less HP, ATB plus 1, right? There's like that whole situation. You got to control what she has, what she doesn't have. I'm not a huge fan of HP percentage weapons where they go like, you have to have more or less of this percentage. I hate that. I just want to push a button, not think about it. But they want to put some kind of, I guess, nerf on these weapons because they are very strong otherwise. And they make everything else obsolete as a choice. So, Aerith setup, if you guys already have it, this is a great addition. If you're going to skip out on all this, I wouldn't worry. It is all limited, and the game will progress with giving you more things. Things just get stronger. Just like when we were at the 6-month anniversary, we're like, oh, how's it get better than this? Ta-da! So, here you go, guys. Aerith's polar skip video. If you guys are going for it, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.